three. Won't go. Rebound Bosh. Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
Oh yeah. We packing somebody up tonight.
Wait, the Heat won?
Hey. Come on in, take your shoes off before we close the door. Few rules, heat packing the air, we about to blow. This the basement, ain't nobody safe, you already know. Grab a seat and kick your feet before you get too comfortable. You want the X's and the O's, the Trey, yes and no. Friends and the foes, the Butlers and the Herro. You can feel it in your soul, but when the ring is the goal. But if somebody need to go, we be sure to let you know. Going hard for my dogs is an everyday thing. Like Jimmy down the lane of 13 off the screen. Whole squad keep it tucked like number 17. Bring your takes and your memes, going hard for the team. Going down in the basement. It's going down in the basement. Get your takes off. Get your takes off. Going down in the basement.
Yeah! Welcome to the Basement Sports Network post-game show. I'm your host, Roy A. Shepard, and I'm joined today by Stone. Stone, why you got Buns as your name, gang?
I've just been thinking about your quarterback down there in Miami too much, I guess.
All right, enough of you already. Thank you very much, King Justin, for doing your job. A1 day one. Sheltman, get out of my bag. As you see my name, Jaime Jeffrey Jordan out there, because that boy came to kill some shit. Also, pulling up on the panel with a new dude, we got my guy, host of the Random Scrub Heat podcast. How you doing today, LJ?
I'm doing good. The Heat scored, 78 points in the second half? That Pacers defense, there's different words you could use to describe it, but none of the adjectives are friendly.
No, but exactly. W is the adjective that I choose to use. And rounding out this panel, we got the chairman of the Kane Gang, my boy Kane, Ricky. Ricky, how you doing today, bro?
I feel wonderful. The Miami Heat, once again, I've said this a million times, I'm going to say it one more time. The Miami Heat are going to win the NBA championship. And if you disagree, you're a racist that hates children.
So in other words...
Don't ask Josh Giddey's opinion.
Damn, you beat me by a second. This is why we can't be hosting at the same time, LG. We can't do this. But, yeah.
Hey, you know they got your mans.
Yo, but speaking of the Miami Heat outscored the highest scoring team in the NBA tonight. They put up 142 points with limited impact from Bam, who left the game with a hip injury, and came out with a 142-132 victory over the Indiana Pacers in a game where in the first half, it looked like they were completely outmatched. The Pacers were dictating the pace, getting up and down the court. And then the third quarter, Jimmy Butler went full free throw merchant on their ass. And in the fourth quarter, Jaime Jordan took over this game. So we're going to start with you, Stone. Hold on. Let's look at some shit. We're going to look at this boy with the bunnies. Vince Carter Haquez. Half man, half tequila. Fuck is you talking about? I forgot who I said. But Stone, we're going to start with you. Bro, give me your thoughts on this game, bro.
Well, first of all, you didn't ask me how I'm doing, but I'll go ahead and share that with you anyways.
I don't give a fuck about how you're doing, Stone.
I'm doing great. Nikki Spo is now single. Life couldn't be more amazing. Tomorrow is my birthday. Anyways,
bro,
moving on.
Early birthday game, but you are a demon, bro. I just want to put that out.
Yeah, my thoughts about Jaime. He's Hime. I mean, is this the greatest Heat drafted player ever? I think that there's room for that debate. Number 3, obviously, is way at the top, but I'm willing to ride Triple J all the way up there. By the way, the other Triple J is Jaren now. We made that very clear on the Twitter account. It's Jaren and Triple J, and that's the bottom line.
That's facts. That's facts. Rookie of the year. Look, as much as I've enjoyed what I've seen from him, Chet Holmgren is a second-year player who they're going to classify as a rookie, and Big Dog is over there looking like one of the most dominant players in the league. And I know Ricky is partial to the Frenchman, over there in San Antonio. So there's questions, but Jaime is definitely like rising up that list, bro. Just being honest with you, huh?
Not rookie of the year, MVP.
Come on now, you cooking now?
Hey,
you can.
All Jaime has to do is step on those two giants' feet, and he'll break them in half, and then they're out of the running.
First of all, they're going to be going to Jaime over the summer to learn the post game. Okay, Jaime has the most amazing footwork since Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon, brother. And you can quote me, put it on the timeline. Since the Dream, Ricky J. Mark, don't care about your face. Just want to hear about your thoughts on the game tonight.
I mean, look, I am a Jaime Jaquez stan. I admit I'm a bit biased because of I'm not gonna say it, but. Right. Look, well, I've already said it. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what talking points I've already covered so far tonight. The Miami Heat are going to win the title. I said that already. Jaime Haquez is going to win MVP this season, and if he doesn't, it's obviously a travesty. And 3, the boy is ready. Okay, he's ready. I mean, he's been growing, steadily improving with every game that's gone by, even in the losses. I think it was last week we were talking about this when Miami lost to the Bulls and Jaime had a pretty solid game. I said back then, and I'll say it now, this is all about Jaime. I wasn't even worried about that loss that night, which admittedly was embarrassing after the whole 22-1 start or whatever. This is big. We got to think big picture. Miami played a fast-paced game tonight. They scored 142 points. And Jaime Haquez had a huge role to play in it. He scored, I think, 12 points in the fourth quarter? I mean, come on, people. I'm sorry. The last time the number 14 made me happy in the fourth quarter was, well, never, actually. So Jaime Jaquez is that dude. This is a beautiful night for me. I'm almost emotional, quite frankly. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. Oh, is that Heather in the comments?
Yeah, she said she's getting up out of here. We'll see you later, Heather. Hey, Jubilaire, don't know what you're talking about. We've been consistent this whole time. We wasn't fans. Don't know what you're talking about either, Albert. We've been like this.
Find me the proof.
Find me the proof. If you can find video evidence, of me ever disparaging this team, I won't give you anything, but you'll be the most interesting man on this show. Thank you, Cords, with the $10 dono. He said, I hate to be that guy, but we might have a Tyler Herro fit problem. Now, I'm also not one to toot my own horn. But beep. Okay? All right. LJ, want to hear your thoughts on tonight's game?
My apologies. I forgot when you asked me how my day was going. I forgot to mention it was going good. Then Stone had the dumbest fucking retweet I've ever seen in my entire life. He said For All the Dogs was better than Good Kid, Mad City. And I chucked my phone against the wall and it left a huge dent that I have to get someone to come in and fucking sand off and fix. Did you not see that? That was the dumbest fucking shit I've ever seen.
Bro,
I named 7 songs on that album.
I follow Stone on Twitter solely for appearances. I don't look at Stone's tweets. I'm not trying to go brain dead.
It wasn't an active decision on my part in my defense. I was just scrolling and my eyes are akin to bullshit. I see something and my pupils dilate and I fixate on it. And I was like, it's bad. I just didn't like it, Stone. I didn't agree with it. Good Kid, Mad City is the greatest album of all time.
Hey.
Back on topic. Heat.
Oh, sorry.
We'll
I forgot what show
this
I'm
after. Yeah, we'll discuss this later.
I'm actually really, really surprised with that second half. That first half, I was working. I didn't get to watch a ton of it. I did see that Bam got hurt in the first quarter. I hope he's okay. And for those who don't know, Bam was our leading rebounder tonight, and he got hurt in the first quarter. There wasn't a whole lot of missing going on. So it's like, can you really get 10 boards on a smaller-ish team when the other team doesn't miss anything? That's tough, but it's a stat nevertheless. I'm just saying. How you want to dictate that into your narrative is up to you. But Bam was their leading rebounder. That second half was awesome, though. The Heat locked in on defense in that second half, mainly the fourth quarter. I know that the Pacers, when the Heat went on, I think it was a 17-2 run midway through the fourth quarter that the Heat went on. And once they started pulling away like that, their offense seemed so free and open in the fourth quarter, which, find me the last time we were able to say that. Where their things didn't just clog down and get congested in the fourth quarter because they're nursing a lead and then they just get complacent. Kyle was giving them great minutes. Kyle kept them afloat in the first half. Jay Rich kept them afloat in that first half. Two players that we have condemned a little bit, but have been pretty good for the longest stretch since that 1-4 start aside. When a certain person exited the lineup, everyone else has been giving a little bit more. I'm not saying it's contributing to one another. I'm just saying these are the facts. The team has been playing a little bit better. I'll let y'all come to the conclusion, but that's neither here nor there. I like Tyler personally, but we might have a fit problem on this team because this ball moves like crazy. You were seeing it. Jay Rich was getting out of transition, hitting Jaime on alley-oops. Apparently, you cannot, how do I put this gently? You have to have some ounce of whiteness in you to be able to throw good passes for the Miami Heat this year, apparently. Who else throws good lobs? Duncan Robinson. Robinson throws good lobs. It ain't Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry got Jimmy's ankle hurt against Ricky's favorite team. That's just a fact. Ricky, put your hand down. We're not taking questions right now. We'll poll the audience afterwards.
If you want to give like the blacks, the Travis, like if you're gonna use Kyle Lowry, then we will also remind you that the whites do have something on their ledger. Tyler Herro tried to throw you down his Haslam lob last year.
I'm talking about this year. My narrative is this year. Least you forget. That's the past. That man is not playing for my team right now.
We'll let the narrative stand.
Hey, come on now.
Check the date now. October 20th.
That's the old him. He's not responsible for the old views. He's responsible for today's views, not yesterday's.
Jaime will be better than Whitmore host. I said it October 20th.
Was that the day they sent? Was that the day they sent Whitmore down to the G League?
Brother, I'm pretty sure that is the work of Justin. I have never tweeted those words in my life, probably, but I agree with Justin right now. Look at Photoshop. You got me. And not gonna lie, I don't think I actually said that ever before in my life. I want to thank Alex Campbell with the $4.99 dono. He said, all I'm saying is our best offensive games have been without Bam. This is a joke, people. Bro, listen, I'll put it out there. Are they better without Idris on the roster?
I'm about to bust.
They started when the ball was moving when he was out tonight. Just saying. I do want to get into some of these individual performances. We'll start with Jimmy Butler, who didn't start the game off like in typical Jimmy Butler fashion, but when Bam went down, he picked it up. In that third quarter, he was spectacular, routinely getting to the line. He ended the game with 20 free throws, bro. He went 18 of 20 from the line. He had more free throws than field goal attempts. But that showed like his level of aggression. He understood the moment, and he's the one who actually settled the team down, kind of got them steady, and slowed down Indiana by being able to like routinely get to the free throw line and just have it become a possession game little by little. Stone, want to hear your thoughts on Jimmy's game tonight?
Yeah, I thought he was great. We talk about fit and those kind of things, and I think one thing I've really learned over these years with Jimmy is he's not necessarily a clean fit in all lineups. And I think that, ironically, how we've all been begging for them to get more superstars around him, I think, ironically, he does better with worse talent around him. I think it's been that way since Minnesota, and he took the third stringers and challenged the starters. And I think it's the same way today because you take Bam and you take Tyler off this roster, and all of a sudden Jimmy Butler becomes a very serious, consistent basketball player. And so it just makes me wonder if there are pieces out there, star guys that would actually fit around Jimmy better. And I'm not sure about that. I kind of defer that question off. But all I know is he was cooking with that Joel Embiid fella. That's all I'll say.
So what was interesting about the way Jimmy was getting to the line tonight is because normally you would think like he'd be better with like spacing lineups. Tonight he was cooking with probably the worst spacing I've ever seen. It was a lineup of him, Jaime Haquez, Caleb Martin, Jay Rich, and Kevin Love out there. Jaime Haquez and Caleb Martin were standing in the same spot on the court, but they just kind of ISO'd Jimmy on the other side, and he was just taking whoever they
I know Stone loves that.
Brother, listen, you need a better
player. While the
than,
goats wear 11. While the goats wear 11. Come on now.
Jaquez Okpala also wore 11 in this franchise. So
and he's a GOAT. Move on, Royal. He's a GOAT.
I don't know what you're talking about. But I want you to talk a little bit about Jimmy's game tonight, particularly like that third quarter, Ricky.
Why? I mean, the part that mattered was, I mean, come on, man. Listen. All right. So here's the thing. In a game like this, where it's a lot of fast pace and pretty and a lot of shots being hit, a player like Jimmy Butler flourishes, ironically enough, when things start to get ugly and gross. And I guess his bullied style of play makes it so that it almost, I don't know, it almost slaps the pretty boy in the mouth and shocks him for a little bit. And as a result, you know, you get what you get. Jimmy Butler's the kind of player that, I mean, he's not known for being a prolific shooter. I mean, he'll put up buckets, hence his nickname. But, it's always funny to see how that sort of thing plays out. I mean, Miami did outscore the Pacers. I think it was 33-27. I think it was in the third quarter.
Yeah, 33.
I think so. Yeah, and you know, considering how they both teams played in the first half, how in Indiana looked like they were getting ready to run away with it, and many of us were worried. Were worried about the third quarter. It's almost as if the desperation complex that Jimmy may or may not still have, dating back to a long time ago, kicked in, and he became the Jimmy we know and love. I mean, we see the free throw numbers. I haven't seen a player go to the line that frequently in a game in a while for this team. And it's helpful. It's helpful. Jimmy. But once again, Jaime was my guy, and I can't stop gushing over him.
Don't worry, we're going to get to Jaime because he was absolutely, in my opinion, our second best player tonight. But I think you brought up I think you brought up an interesting point when you're talking about kind of like how Jimmy does this thing where he punches the pretty boy in the mouth, because that's what was happening in this game. It felt like in the first half, Indiana was playing their style of basketball, which is more so organized chaos. It's not like sets. It's just shit happening. They give the ball to Tyrese Haliburton, and he makes sense out of the shit that's happening around him. And I think that's how he ended up with that's how Tyrese Haliburton ended up. I think he ended the game with 35 points, if I'm not mistaken. No, he ended up with 44. My bad. But he had like 28 in the first half. And it's because the whole game was orbiting around his skill set. And I think Miami did like a lot more in the second half to kind of slow that down. And a lot of that was because of Jimmy in that third quarter. Excuse me. Go ahead, LJ. Talk to me about what you saw from Jimmy in that third quarter specifically.
Ricky said it perfectly. Jimmy did a great job of just keeping the game within reach in that third quarter, because the Pacers, the Heat got back within 2, and the Pacers jumped back up 9, and then Jimmy got some more free throws going to keep them and settling down their offense. That's what he does best, honestly. He's a great defender. He's a great shot maker. He's not a great three-point shooter. He's not the best passer in the world, but he's going to completely control the flow of a game when he needs to. And that's exactly what he did in the third quarter, especially because the Pacers were ready to get out and run again. Haliburton is going to make a lot of Heat fans very mad for the next decade, probably. It started last year when he hit that buzzer beater against him. It was in that first half again today. I'm just saying, why would Sacramento trade a player like that? I don't know. My franchise would never do that, because my franchise never makes trades anyway. But that's not the point either. The point is the Heat took their Pepto. They took their Pepto-Bismol today. There was no third quarter. There was no fart quarter. They did what they needed to do to get their stomach looking right. And Jimmy was the catalyst behind it. I know he wasn't, doing anything else other than free throws mainly in that fourth quarter, but him steadying that offense allowed everyone else to play comfortably and not hectic. They weren't waiting until the last, when you're watching on the score bug and the shot clock gets into the red and the little square around it turns red on the ticker. That's usually when they wait to get into their offense. 5 seconds left, 8 seconds left. They'll dribble it up and just wait until the thing turns red. And then they say, all right, let's initiate. That wasn't them tonight. And wow, look at that. It yielded positive results because they were able to score and get into sets and get offensive rebounds. And it looked really good all around, which is really surprising too when Bam isn't there. Bam's been kind of that guy in the second half. They've looked at the number one option a little bit when Jimmy's not really looking to score as much. They don't have Bam for 3/4 of this game, and they score 142 points. There's no correlation there, mind you, but that's more of a testament to Miami being able to really bounce back from that early blow and find a way to win against probably one of the best offensive teams in the NBA.
I think it's the best offensive team in the NBA, and that 132 points is indicative of Bam not playing. Not how many points we score, how many points they score. It's kind of like that's what you see. But I'm going to detour a little bit and talk about Haliburton just a little bit, not a lot, guys, because we've had this conversation a little bit earlier in the spaces that I was hosting, and we were trying to see like what tier a point guard does Haliburton fall in, and I think we like the consensus was he was like high end third tier, lower end second tier. I think he's like solidly in the second tier after I watched it. So real quick, I want you guys to tell me what tier you think Haliburton is in. Give me a quick hit, and then we'll move along. We'll go with Ricky first. Ricky, what tier point guard is Haliburton in?
Didn't you ask me this question earlier today? What are you doing to me, Royal? You set me up to fail. I feel attacked.
I'm not setting you up to fail. I am bringing your opinion to multiple platforms so that more masses can hear the wonderful intellect that you speak with, King.
More masses.
Come on now.
Thank
so,
you
Cook, what tier is Haliburton in?
I would say mid-level potential perennial all-star. Like I said earlier today, I think at this point he has the potential to become a perennial all-star. However, of course, we have to see more, and we want to see him ascend a little bit more. I think he still has a little bit more room to grow in that aspect, because if he's able to do that, then he could potentially put himself in that, I don't want to say pantheon, but he could put himself in that near lock, especially when you consider how some of the top point guards in the East and West are at a point in their careers where it's like, okay, they're big names, but they might be a season or two away from beginning to decline a little bit. I think Haliburton potentially could replace one or more of those players, and I think he may very well end up doing that.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Like there's some of the players that you're talking about, players like Trae Young, who's kind of like has made a name for himself in this league, but he's at the point in his career where it's like you either start winning or you're going to see your ranking in the league start to fall a little bit. And he's one of the guys who could potentially get usurped if he hasn't already been. Stone, what tier do you put? Not there yet. Damian Lillard is a high-end point
years
guard.
Away.
Yeah, sure. I get it. But he also, like, if he wins this year, the entire East Haliburton to have a higher mountain to climb. Stone, what tier do you put him in?
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure how this like first, second, like where the cutoffs are on these tiers. So I'll just go with the all-pro teams. I think that he could be all-pro third team, and I think he's working his way towards being all-pro second team.
Okay. So the way the tiers is working is like Steph Curry is in a tier of his own, like he's the best point guard in the league.
Well, I disagree with that already, so we're not going to agree on this tier premise.
Yeah, well, Stone, everybody here knows you don't know ball in the first place, so me telling you that was just kind of like to let everybody else in on kind of like what's going on. Go ahead, LJ. What tier do you have Haliburton in?
Mid-tier 2, but he's climbing. I do not want to see, for the life of me, the Heat could sweep the Pacers in the regular season this year. I still don't want to see him in the playoffs. He is going to ascend in the playoffs and change a lot of people's perception of him, more casual perception of him, because people that watch basketball know that this dude he's getting there. And he's, to quote Ray Allen, I'm getting there. And he is going to be there sooner rather than later.
Luka was a troubling one for me because sometimes I don't know whether I classify Luka as a point guard, but he is. I don't disrespect people who do put him in there, but he does have Kyrie Irving on that team, just being the nasty man. Thank you for the $2 dono. Said Pacers ran out of the R2 turbo button boost today. Yeah, I think so. And I think a lot of that had to do with Miami changing kind of like the pace of the game. And like I said, I credit a lot of that to Jimmy Butler and being able to get to the free throw line routinely. Now let's get to the boy, Jaime Haquez. While Jimmy Butler did a lot of the carrying in the third quarter, Jaime Haquez, when Jimmy went to the bench initially for that fourth quarter, carried this team with his scoring. That's something that we got to appreciate. Nasty Man again with the $2 dono. He said, I got Hali in the fucking Kyle Lowry tier. Brother, you are on drugs. But Jaime Haquez, beautiful fourth quarter. He had 10 points up until that point, scored 14 in the fourth quarter, helped Miami get the lead and secure the victory. Ricky, you are his biggest stand on this panel, so we're going to start with you first. Give me your thoughts on Jaime Haquez.
You know, Jaime Haquez, since Summer League, has presented himself as the kind of player that can't be rushed, that plays at a particular pace. no pun intended, that allows him to get to his spots without necessarily being forced to ahead of time. He is the ideal player for a team like this team, the Miami Heat. And when you consider that in most of the games he's played this season, he has had purposeful minutes where it might not always have shown up on the stat sheet, but just little plays here, like a timely cut, a fortuitous poke of the ball while defending someone. Now, here's the thing. We know that when matched up against certain players like DeMar DeRozan and other scorers like that, he's been subject to, well, he's been cooked. I mean, there's no other way around it. But the truth is, you're talking about guys that have been putting up numbers for over a decade, and you can't really expect him to do too much at this stage in his career when he's still learning. The beautiful thing about what I've seen from Haquez, not just tonight, but in the last few weeks this season, is that he has been willing to learn, and not just learn, but to apply his knowledge in a more consistent way. We saw how Caleb Martin last year was able to grow into the kind of player that was almost unbenchable, especially during the Bucks and definitely during the Boston Celtics, who suck, by the way. They suck. I hate them. They suck. But I think Jaime Haquez, come playoff time, is going to be the kind of player that could very well win you a playoff game, the same way Shane Battier did 10 years ago, the last time Miami was seriously contending for a championship. The same with Caleb Martin last season, when he, quite frankly, was probably the MVP of the Eastern Conference Finals, and so on and so forth. And I think I love seeing him play. Y'all already know how I feel about the Haquez family, but I just look forward to seeing what's next for him for the remainder of the season.
You are insane, Ricky J. Mark. I just want to put that out there. I think for me, what it is with Jaime, bro, is that like you can tell like those 4 years of college, it like helped him a lot because he just knows how to play, bro. Like he makes the game look like really, really, really simple. Almost as simple as your insurance could be if you call our guy James Pugh and the people over.
Oh my God, yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, insurance does not need to be complicated. Make sure you email our guy James Pugh or give him a call today and tell him that the basement sent you. Email our guy James Pugh at jpugh@simplehealthadvisors.com or give him a call at 321-345-7738. Again, that number is 321-345-7738. We want to thank James Pugh and especially the people over at Simple Health Advisors for sponsoring this network and this program in itself. Oh, thank you very much. That lob to the self. I had to get out of relying on Dan to film the lob, you guys.
Not bad for a black guy, Royal.
I got athleticism out here. Let's talk about Jaime Haquez a little bit. LJ, I'm gonna come to you this time, bro. Tell me, bro, why is Jaime been able to find so much early success in his rookie season? Not only just like in play, but in crucial moments, like in fourth quarters and shit. How has he made himself become such an integral part to what Miami does?
Well, tonight's an easy answer. It was Star Wars night, so Kylo Ren going off makes sense. That's just a fact of the matter. But to answer your question, and you kind of answered it yourself earlier too, it's the 4 years of college. Spo loves that. Spo loves un-NBA experience. He likes getting people in his system, whether they're drafted or not. We've seen, the Max Strus, the Gabe Vincent, they're in their system for about 2 to 3 years and they get their playing time. Jaquez's time in the system was at UCLA for 4 years. And that's why he's come in, and I know Ricky's upset about Nico not getting his minutes, but Jaime came in and took Nico's minutes because he's ready. Nico is not ready, as it were. But him coming in and his footwork is, I know you joked about it earlier, Royal, saying that it's Hakeem the Dream Olajuwon. The fact that it's not that far off, jokingly, is actually a little concerning. A rookie should not have that kind of footwork. It's the footwork that makes Rex Ryan jealous. That is absolutely incredible. He goes down in the post. That's a bit of a thinker for the audience out there.
Come on now.
You
gotta be a high level.
My references, you got to have a certain level of IQ, obviously.
Come on now.
The way he goes down there and he doesn't panic. Ricky talked about it too. He's so calm when he goes down in the paint. When he gets doubled, he makes the right pass. He shakes people off the dribble. I wasn't on the postgame show the other night when they played the Bucks, but the dude crossed over Giannis. Like, his handles are great too. It's not just a post player. On the perimeter, he makes the right decisions. And seeing a rookie say that is not say that, but do that. He's obviously not going to win Rookie of the Year because the NBA has a hard on for Wembanyama. The NBA, Chet is better than Wembanyama this year. I'll say that, but the NBA just loves Wembanyama so much. But I do honestly think, just based on play this year and expectations aside, James has probably been the second best rookie. Chet's been number one, but I honestly think James has been better than Wemby.
Chet has been better than Wemby. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro.
I agree with it 100%.
But yeah, look. Somebody said I may take a perk before every game to come and keep calm and composed. Look, the thing about Jaime is, like, here's the interesting part. This is less than 20 games into his NBA career, and we're already talking about how he responds to being double teamed. Like, that to me, like, so somebody was like, wait until they start putting him on the scouting report. They were double teaming Jaime Jaquez in the fourth quarter of a game tonight. Like, you have to let that sink in. That means that there's a level of respect there. Like, hey, this man is killing us one-on-one. We need to get the ball out of his hand. There was a conscious effort to do that. And that shows kind of like the level of play that this man has sustained over the course of this season. Stone, tell me what you saw from Jaime tonight and over the course of the season from all the games that you didn't get a chance to talk about. He's not ruining it.
Yeah. Wow. Before I make this next comment, I would like to distinguish myself from LJ's nasty black men can't pass narrative agenda.
Thank you. Thank you.
No, you're putting more. That's not what I said.
We'll allow it.
We got 250 people watching. I can't have that narrative go against me. We can't.
Too late.
That's how I remember it being said. And
go ahead, stop.
My reality is reality. Anyways, I think what makes Haquez such a good fit right away is the passing ability. Not to get away from him, but like, I think a big turning point in this game was when Spo went to Kevin Love. I mean, Kevin Love ended up with 9 rebounds and 6 assists tonight. That's pretty good in 18 minutes. I think there was fear that he wasn't going to be able to keep up with the Pacers pace-wise. But I think what they figured out really quick was he didn't need to keep up with them pace-wise. They just needed to keep moving the ball. And I think that ball movement is something that really suffers definitely when Tyler's on the court, and at times when Bam is on the court, because all these guys do with Bam is they call for a screen and then they just go head down right into the lane, and they're either passing it out from there or they're putting up likely a contested shot attempt. And so I think that Bam can fit in that mold because I've seen Bam pass, and I think Bam is fine with passing, but they just got to keep that ball moving. Last year, they did it almost to a fault where it ended up with a bad shot from Max Strus or Gabe Vincent at the end of the clock. Like, everyone was just kind of scared to shoot. So I think it's got to be like a healthy mix of they got to keep moving the rock. And I think Haquez being out there allows them to do that. But also not getting stuck with that like doo-doo shot with less than 5 seconds on the shot clock. Because as you saw tonight, making shots and slowing the game down by going to the foul line was pretty much their only prayer in this game without Bam playing defense. So when he comes back and plays that defense, it would be nice if we could keep some of what this offense looked like.
So here's the interesting thing about Jaime, bro. You see how many different aspects of the game that we named that he contributes in? We've talked about his footwork. You've talked about his passing. Obviously, we talked about some of his scoring. Like earlier in the season, we were talking about his capabilities on defense. I think him being that well-rounded of a player is kind of what makes him the perfect fit for what we got going on here, because he can literally fit seamlessly into any lineup that we play.
Here's my only fear. My only fear is that, we talked about that college time. It's hard for me to try and predict what his ceiling is. Like, has he kind of scratched that surface a little bit, or is there still a lot more room for him to grow? That's kind of what I'm interested in following.
I think if he has, you're already happy with the pick, because you're able to play this man every minute of the fourth quarter, and he's not a liability, and he can play iso ball and successfully. If this is it, it's still good.
I agree with you. It's just I know how this fan base gets with unrealistic expectations, and I don't want to end up hating this guy one day.
Yeah, so like I'm with you there. I think what I fear most with Jaime is for us to start over because he's capable of doing so many things, like us overloading him with responsibility and begin to expect him to do all these things on a consistent basis. Like right now, it's fine when he adds these to what we're already doing, but then when you start, okay, we need you to play make. Okay, we need you to be like I don't want to get to that point until he's ready for that. Like right now, just enjoy it. But yeah, I'm with you, Stone. Like I don't want to get this fan base to the point where they're starting to place these absurd expectations on this man, and then I'm like, okay, he's not that, but like let's just be thankful for what he is. And I think that's the place that we all are right now. We're thankful for what he is, and we don't really want to like try and project too much because I think he'll get better naturally. But I don't foresee like this insane like from what he is now to Hall of Fame Jaime. Like I just rather wait until like I get a firm grasp on what he is as a player. Whatever. I want you guys to pick whatever role player that you want to talk about and talk about them this evening. So Ricky, we'll start with you. Talk about who your favorite role player was tonight, outside of Jaime.
Yeah, sure. Duncan Robinson makes me happy. I was someone, and to a certain extent, I still am someone that thinks that if you combine him with another player, you could flip him for a potential, game changer. I just don't know where that is or who that could be at this point. But I have to say, I'm impressed with what I've seen out of him, not just tonight, but this season. He's been playing a lot more off the dribble. He's been a bit more confident in his shooting, and his shooting has admittedly been a bit more timely. Now, if this were the player that, if he were playing like this, say a season ago, 2 seasons ago, then maybe some of his riders would have been a bit more correct and accurate. But they're still not, and they suck. But resume. It's just the thing with Duncan is that if he continues to play this way, especially against the teams Miami needs him to play this way against, starting to. I mean, I know we've had conversations in the last few days, not just on stream, but on spaces about how we wish certain other players would play the way he does and how beneficial to the team it is. Man, I give him credit. I mean, I saw him against Boston last season. I saw him tonight. I mean, he did his job. Shot 4 for 6 from 3. Had about, I think, 16 points. It's cool with me. I'll take it. Keep doing that.
So with Duncan Robinson, I think you hit the nail on the head. Like he did his job. Shoot the fucking ball. I don't care if you like. I don't care if you score 20 points or the 16 that you got tonight. But if you shoot the ball and you're shooting it effectively, then you have done your job for the night, Duncan Robinson. And I feel like he can continuously do that without putting himself. First of all, what we're not going to do is we're not going to remove the black man in order to add Ant. But we want to welcome Ant to the panel. Ant, don't worry about it, King. I got you, baby. You know I would never let a word be spoken when they do you like that. I'm the only person kicking you off this panel. I want to shout out my dog. I want to welcome Ant to the panel. Ant, bro, how you doing? Give me your thoughts on the game. And right now what we're doing is we're picking a role player and talking about him.
Yeah, first off, you don't care how I'm doing, so I'm going to skip that question. Second off, I had to come in here and join because I heard some realistic talk on Jaime Haquez Jr. Let me give you some realistic talk on Jaime Haquez. If he counts as a role player, I'll talk on him for a second. He is going to be one of the best players in the entire association. Let me tell you why. Coming into the league as a rookie with that kind of IQ, footwork, fundamental, intangibles, whatever white boy adjective.
Y'all are witnessing this in real time.
He has them. I've said it more than once, and I'll say it again. I got a foot fetish for the footwork of Jaime Haquez Jr. I mean, I had to clean my contacts. I thought I was watching Hakeem Olajuwon. That's Hakeem Haquez out there. How can y'all see what this man's doing as a rookie and put him in a box? He cannot be put. He's over there doing daps with Josh Richardson that he's not really white, but that no one like him should be able to do. He's incredible.
I don't feel safe.
Me neither, bro. Look, I do fuck with Haquez, but we wouldn't count him as a role player tonight. He was one of the stars. LJ, pick your role player and talk about him.
I'll go Caleb. I'm surprised. On the pod last week, me and George kind of disagreed on what they should do with Caleb, because don't answer that, Ant. You'll be on record. Don't answer it. It's a condemning question.
Periwinkle.
That. All right. Okay. Not my favorite color per se, but I lost my train of thought. You son of a bitch.
I'm more of a chartreuse person myself.
Oh my god!
Can we just pick some primary colors? Like we
the
don't.
Nasty man with the $2. It's the feet of my lights. Oh my god!
I know. Oh, trust me. I know. You know I'm with you in there in those likes section, Darius. You ain't got to worry about me.
Okay, I'll attempt to get us back on track here. I usually get us off track, but I'm going to do my best to get us back on track here.
You ain't hosting tonight. You just out here in the crowd.
I'm just living life right now. I'm just soaking it all in. I picked Caleb. I picked Caleb Martin because I was wrong on how Spo was going to kind of use him. I saw Haywood kind of take Caleb's minutes in the first half of the games, and then I saw we already did it. Alex, you motherfucker, we already did it.
Ooh.
They did. Y'all, you people just keep making me lose.
I'm sorry. It's always somebody on this show who can't.
You
people.
It was Alex.
Hey,
I referred to Alex, who is white. Don't we start this now?
Lower your
So,
voice.
Hame wound up taking all of Caleb's minutes in the fourth quarter, back when Caleb was injured. But then they come back, and Caleb's still playing in the fourth quarter, despite Hame taking all of the fourth quarter minutes, still playing all the fourth quarter. Caleb was great. He's getting his athleticism back. He's actually pushing pace. He's always, ever since he came back, he's been finishing acrobatic layups and stuff. That's just kind of what he does. When you feel like he can kind of dunk it, he decides to go up and under instead and make like a finesse shot instead of just dunking it like we know he can do. So maybe he's not back to 100% yet. But Caleb, what do you get tonight? I'll box score watch for a second. Caleb,
14 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists.
That's great. That's what you want from him too. And in those minutes, they outscored him by 11. Most of that came in the fourth quarter when the Heat just blew it open and went up by 16 late in the fourth quarter. They did great. So Caleb is my player. I like what I've seen from him, and he's only honestly going to get better. And you didn't hear it from me, but when his value gets really high, he's on an expiring contract, and there's a lot of depth at his position on the team. I'm not saying to do anything. I'm just telling you what the situation is.
I'm saying move his ass.
Stone said it. I didn't say it.
Brother, I said it too a couple of shows ago. Get that fucker out of here. Listen, Caleb Martin, I like what you're talking about with like the unnecessary jellies and shit, but I do agree. Somebody mentioned it a little bit earlier. Like some of these look like what would have been dunks last year, and he's just not quite getting up to like. We ain't gonna speak on that until after you trade it, but I feel what you said, LJ, and I think the same thing, bro. Maybe it's not all the way healed, but he saw the minutes slipping away slowly but surely, and he's trying to like he was healthy enough to play, so he came back, and now he's making the most of it. Stone, pick your scrub and talk about him.
Yeah, so LJ took mine because I was going to talk about packing him up with someone else, but I can't. It'll make me physically ill to say nice things about Kyle Lowry. Every minute Orlando Robinson plays is 2 minutes too long. I guess I'll go with Josh Richardson. You made 8 of your 11 shots tonight, but my friend, please do not take 11 shots in another game this season. It won't go this way. I promise. I'm happy to have you home, but we can't have you taking double-digit shots. That's going to end poorly more times than not. It can't happen. You'll be going with Taylor
Josh
Martin.
Richardson has been playing well the past couple of games. It feels like he's gained a rhythm, and it feels like maybe not 11 shots, but it feels like his shot is starting to fall a little bit, bro. You got to get a man credit.
All right, then Haywood Highsmith. He came back to earth. I was seeing some really nasty narratives on Twitter.com about this man and about how improved. I never switched sides. I always thought he was scrub and trash. I don't care what he does in October or September. He had 2 points tonight in 15 minutes. He's falling back to earth hard, and you shouldn't expect more than what he gave you tonight.
You know what, Stone? Now that's a narrative that I can get behind, brother, because Shameless Highsmith is making a dramatic return out here, brother. That bitch, no, he can't play offense. But on defense, he's fine. Like, it's cool. I'm wondering when the inevitable switch to him back on the bench is going to come, because he's not providing he's not providing anything on the offensive end as of late. Defensively, he's fantastic, and he works well with Bam on that end of the court, and I think they value that. But look, you can find more productivity in several people on this roster. For that, you might as well start Jaime Haquez. Just being completely honest with you, like, you might as well just get him at a start. I'll take Kyle Lowry. I'll take Kyle Lowry since nobody else wanted to. The fat man did his thing for like 2 minutes in the third quarter. Like, it was an amazing display of shot making from Kyle Lowry. But I feel like he's always having like these random like spurts, like scoring outbursts in the middle of games. Like, he'll just score like 7 to 10 points, like, really quickly, and it'll make his whole stat line look like he did something.
It's the insulin shot. Once that insulin shot kicks in,
whenever he starts taking that step back, that's when I know he's feeling himself.
But it's kind of like for the rest of the game, he's really serving little to no purpose out there. I think he played okay. Like, I don't expect anything from Kyle Lowry. So when I get 15 points, that's a positive. I just try to make sure that he's not negatively impacting the game when I'm watching him. And he didn't seem to be doing that tonight. So, like, I was cool with him going out there to play. I was cool with the way that he played. But he didn't really do nothing outside of, like, his little scoring burst. He just passes the ball around and be really, really solid. Here's something that I thought was interesting, Ant. The first big off the bench tonight was what's his name, Orlando Robinson? Like, they tried to go to Orlando Robinson instead of Thomas Bryant or Kevin Love. Do you think that, like, it's more like a matchup thing?
Did he, or was the first big to start the second half when Thomas Bryant started?
Yeah, it was a matchup thing. They were talking about it on.
No, they put him in the first half.
That's what I'm saying. Okay. It was a matchup thing. They were saying on the broadcast that the Pacers were just going to push pace all night, and Kevin Love and Thomas Bryant were probably too slow to keep up with that. But then, I was talking about Kevin Love. I think that they figured out that they could still run their offense. Like, they didn't need all 5 guys to be coming up the floor every time. So, yeah, Spo did see that. Spo needs to watch some film. That's a scrub I really would like to talk about. 140 Spo, 130 points, not going to cut it.
Yeah, let me go ahead and just take that lob for him real quick.
Go ahead, King.
I got one. You know, as everyone in this network knows, I believe in love. And no, don't do it. Don't. There's a point to it.
You better hurry up and get to it too, bitch, because I'm going to get your ass out of here.
Kevin Love was awesome, okay? He didn't score in double figures. He only had 5 points, but he had 8 rebounds and 6 assists. He had 8 rebounds and 6 assists. 6 assists from a backup forward center that is probably going to end up being not third string, let's be honest. I mean, he's probably going to end up starting at some point again. Who knows? But Kevin Love's outlet passing ability is underrated. It won them a few games against the Knicks last season in the playoffs. I think it helped significantly tonight when it came to sparking runs for this team, especially considering how there were huge opportunities for this team to run, get out into the open floor and everything like that. I think there is I don't know where I'm getting this information from. Maybe it's from the Heat hive mind culture thing, whatever set up, but you have to think at some point that the Heat not front office, but the coaching staff, they're looking for ways to utilize Kevin Love even better as this season wears on, especially as this team tries to take advantage of certain things that they saw tonight that worked.
I don't know if there's an avenue to using him better. I think for us, like, him as the backup 5 is kind of like the ideal space for us. Because Bam doesn't need much rest. You can monitor his minutes a whole lot better, and he provides a different element that Bam does while still being serviceable as a rebounder. LJ, I don't know if you have any thoughts on kind of like the Kevin Love, if we have a better way of using him, like you think we do?
I like what they're doing currently. I mean, we'll see how long Bam's out, and then we'll really see what they think of Kevin Love if they want him to start in there. I was just really shocked that someone with the last name Bryant can be this consistently bad at basketball. It shouldn't be allowed. Orlando Robinson, y'all know how I feel about Orlando Robinson. Orlando Robinson needs to get minutes over Thomas Bryant. It's bad. Like, he gave us a little bit. We saw a little bit in the preseason, and the first week or two of the regular season, you were like, all right, maybe the Bam minutes aren't going to completely kill this team like they did with Dwayne Dedmon. Oh, we were wrong. We were so wrong.
So I was never a big Thomas Bryant guy, because I realized in the finals I saw DeAndre Jordan play ahead of him. And I know DeAndre Jordan is cooked. So, if he's playing ahead of Thomas Bryant, there had to be some red flags there. I saw the same thing when he was in L.A., where they had to start him, and then eventually they went to not playing him. So I envisioned that Miami fans would eventually see, we were comparing him to Dwayne Dedmon. And so we called him an upgrade to Dwayne Dedmon.
Which he is. I'll stand on that. He is still an upgrade. Instead of getting outscored,
he was pretty good in L.A. They cut his minutes because I think AD came
same
back.
Same thing.
Come on, bro.
Instead of getting outscored by 20 in the non-Bam minutes, Thomas Bryant makes him outscored by 17. So it's
it doesn't. Hey. It feels like a lateral move, bro. That's what it feels like, bro. You feel like you're going from the night shift manager to the breakfast manager. It's not really an improvement. It's just kind of like you waking up at a different time today. Just to bless with one of the most insane comments that we got on here for $1.99. I'm not reading that because I do not make fun of other cultures on here.
Like team cultures, or
shut up.
Because I can think of quite a few Miami Heat fans. So you know what? Let me just.
I'm sorry. But yes, I'll read it though, because he did put up. He said Celtics fans, and he talked about Jaime. He said Celtics fans would chant, build the wall, and then he put the Mexican flag in there. They probably will. Not gonna lie, they probably fucking will. Let's talk about this next game, which is surprisingly against the same team that we just played in the same place. I do not anticipate we will get similar results, but let's see what the rest of the panel thinks. Ricky, the boy feeling good?
I mean, I've been feeling good for quite some time. As far as this coming weekend, I feel amazing. I mean, like I said, the Miami Heat are going to win the NBA championship, and it starts with a win this weekend. I don't really see if you. I don't know if you want me to say anything else. Do you want me to analyze this weekend's game?
No, you don't have to. We just watched it. You just watched it. We're going to see the same thing. Stone, the boy feeling good?
Yeah. Can I get one of those comments put back up there about how we switch up and stuff?
Oh, I'll go back and find one.
I have a very stern message to that segment of people that tune into our show. We are better fans than you. We always will be. The difference is that we are realistic and we have expectations. These are things that people that respect themselves should have. Just because you don't respect yourself doesn't make it our problem. We fucking love this team. We just want this team to be better. And we disagree with their method of trying to get better. But we all want the Heat to win every single night. But when they lose, and it's because of some of the blatant holes on this roster that we point out, we're going to victory lap that because it shows that we are paying attention because we are good fans. The Heat are going to lose that game.
He had me in the first half.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. But look, so I feel like everybody on this network has had a point like that, Stone. We've all done it. People come here calling us bad fans. We've had our little meltdowns individually. Most of us are over it. Like, I'm over even acknowledging like that kind of shit. Now people can come here and say what they want.
I was right.
You can come in here and feel free to like bash us. Look, we appreciate all views, and just like make sure y'all like this video. Make sure y'all subscribe to the network if y'all are not already. Make sure y'all subscribe to Ant Network, Ant's channel, because he has more subscribers than we got, and I kind of want to keep that going. But yeah, like, look, you might hear that at different points. We sorry, not really, but like you gonna hit it at different points because some of it is really annoying. Oh, don't you dare worry. It's getting to me. I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen, young Shad Beats. Ed, the boy feeling good?
Yeah, if the Heat can build a wall against Giannis and it works, I don't know why the Celtics can't do one against Jaime and maybe expect similar results. But I mean, to be honest, I do feel good. I said that's an amazing comment, by the way, Mr. Shelvin. I said going into this game, if the Heat don't score 150 points, I'm going to be mad because they've been putting up like 90 points, and the Pacers are giving up 150 to everyone. So I thought this would be a get right game. So while I do agree with Stone, there's several flaws and they are obvious to us. I did like seeing that they were able to actually score tonight. So hopefully that trend can continue next game. And if it does, I'll be happy in the short term.
Hopefully, probably. I don't like these words at Donato. Don't worry. I'll tell you the words you're supposed to use. LJ, the boy feeling good?
Honestly, yeah. I can give all the viewers a good tip right now. For next game, if Bam's not playing, just take the over. I won't say probably or should. Just take the over because it's going to hit and you will make money. If Bam is playing, however, the Heat will still win. They're at home. It's going to be a high-scoring game. If Bam actually plays the whole game tonight, did the Pacers get 132? No. But did the Heat get 142? I don't know, but I do think the next game, I think Bam will probably miss next game too, by the way, because what is it? They got one day off. They have tomorrow off, and then they play the game after that. Bam's hip has been giving him problems so far this season, so I don't expect him to play. Take the over. You'll be happy with yourself. You'll be glad you did, and the Heat will win.
And where should they take, if they're doing over-under, where should they play these?
Well, I personally like to use the anonymous player prop betting app that doesn't sponsor us. So I will not say their name, but there's also another one who doesn't sponsor us. So I'm not going to fucking say their name either, but they're out there.
Thank you, Ed.
Or just give me money.
Ricky's putting his hat in the ring to be your bookie, and you will not see any of that money.
Oh, please. Oh, no. You're not. You're never going to get it back. I'm going to interpret it as a gift, and legally, I don't got to give you a damn thing, really.
Cocaine, Ricky. That's just how I feel about donos. So, like I said, all of you bitches are wrong. The Heat about to blow that shit out. Fuck is you talking about? We just sold you bitches. They can't fuck with us. No, Bam. Probably not gonna happen. No problem. Okay? Jimmy, 36 more. Huh? Haquez, unguardable. Head top. J. Rich, same thing. You might get 21 from Kyle Lowry. Y'all know how he like to play when people be out. Now, Tyrese Haliburton will have 75 points. That is not even negotiable. He's going to go the fuck off. And Buddy Hield will probably make some shots too. So I'm predicting the score of maybe like 198 to 187 because that's how many fucking points we're going to have to score because they're coming. I did like what somebody said, though. Like, playing the Indiana Pacers on the, like, back-to-back home thing, it gives it, like, a playoff feel. So it's going to show you, like, the minor adjustments that Indiana will make come back and to show you the adjustments that Miami can make. So enjoy that. But, yes, absolutely, Shelton. We're winning the fucking title. And these puny bitches are but a stepping stool in our path. Manchester. What? No. We are, who Kai Chisholm said I like? They in the Bundesliga.
Bayern Munich.
Yeah, I'm a Bayern Munich fan because Kai Chisholm told me to be one. And that's all I know about the foot soccer. Thank you guys in the comments as always for joining the show, making it much more fun than it would have been without you. Thank you to everybody on this panel except for Ricky. So that means all the whites, you get thanked tonight. Congratulations. Nasty Man with the $2 buzzer beating dono. He said, they're coming, huh? Pause, my guy. Hey, brother. Everybody's in it for a good time, gang. All right? You feel me? You know what I'm talking about, Nasty Man. Everybody go follow the Nasty Man. Look at his likes and shit and have yourself a happy ending to a happy ending. Play the video, Justin.
Oh, yeah. We packing somebody up tonight.